Hey, this video here will show you things that I believe that you should do immediately after purchasing a car. So this is a post-purchase car list of things to do. No order of importance. I think they're all very important things to do. I know most of us just want to get out there and drive it because we're excited to have a car that's new to us. But if you fail to do important maintenance items and maintenance checks, that new love for your newly acquired vehicle will be short-lived. Number one, figure out how to get that hood open and check your oil. It's preferred that you check your oil after the car's been sitting at least 5 minutes, and you pull your oil dipstick, you wipe it off, and you check the level on the stick. It should have 2 marks on it. Your oil should be between the minimum and maximum. I'm trying to get this one to settle in here. And this one is right in between the middle and maximum. If you don't know what kind of oil you take, check your owner's manual. Sometimes the kind of oil you take is right there on the oil cap in a lot of the newer vehicles. Often vital information about your maintenance on your car is on the back of the manual. And right there, step forward tells us what page to look on, page 810. And 810 talks about your oil level and what weight oil should be used. As you can see here, the recommended oil is 10W30 unless you're in extreme hot climates, which I would recommend 1040 or here very seldom 1540. If for some reason you don't have an owner's manual, go to the car manufacturer's website and you should see a link to owner's information and owner's manual there. If you can't find your owner's manual there, by all means get to some website or something, find the owner's manual for your car so that you can properly maintain it. Next thing you want to do is check your coolant reservoir. Make sure the level is between the minimum and maximum mark. Check your brake fluid reservoir. Make sure the level there is between minimum and maximum mark. Now, you want to check this, especially the coolant and the engine oil, the next time you gas the car up, because you immediately want to know if your car is burning or leaking these fluids. Very important to know. Next, you want to check your coolant bottle and make sure that there is actually coolant in there and not just water. So take a look at it, make sure it's not just water, and smell it so you can learn what the coolant smells like. That way, if you ever spring a coolant leak, you'll know that it's coolant that you smell. On most cars, you shouldn't open this cap unless the car is cooled off. So you would want to wait till the car is cool to verify that there is coolant in there and that you learn what it smells like. Also, you need to know if there's only water in there, it's easier for the car to overheat, and it's also easier for the motor to freeze overnight and have you destroy something in the motor if you started with frozen water in the system. You should never add tap water to this coolant reservoir. Always 50-50 coolant mix as it outlined in your owner's manual, or distilled water. Next thing you need to do is figure out when the last oil change was done. If you can't find any written documented proof of the last oil change, have it changed within 7 days of owning your vehicle. And then check your owner's manual and get on the maintenance schedule of your oil changes. Next thing you want to do is figure out what your tire pressure is supposed to be. Get your tire pressure gauge, check your tire pressure, make sure all your tire pressure is in the range that it's supposed to be. That way you know that you're safely driving down the road with proper inflated tires, and you'll avoid any uneven tire wear. Usually you can find your required tire pressure inside your door jamb, one of your door jambs, or you can also look inside the flap of your fuel filler. That's a good place for manufacturers to put it to remind you what your tire pressure should be, front and rear tires. As you can see on this car, it recommends that your tire pressure is 29 in the front, 29 in the back, 32 in the front, and on cold pressure, it should be 36. I also recommend that you go in the back of the car and check to make sure that you have a spare tire and a working jack. I once bought a car, went after the spare tire just to check it the day after I bought it, and the car actually had a spare tire in the back of it that was rotted out. It was flat and had steel coming out the sides of it. So you want to check and make sure you have a spare tire, because if you're out somewhere and you get a flat and you don't have a spare tire, you'll have to call a tow truck. Another thing I recommend you doing as soon as you get a car is jack the car up to make sure the jack work. Take the tools that came with the tire change kit and remove at least one of the tires off of the car to make sure that these wheels are not on there so tight that you won't be able to get them changed in the event that you have a flat. When I purchased this car, within a week of having it, I decided to check and make sure that I could get the wheels off, and I couldn't get none of the lugs loose from the car. When I checked to make sure I could get a wheel off, I was actually out of state, and I had to go to one of my sister's neighbor's house and borrow a cross lug nut tool to get the lug nuts off, and I still couldn't get them off. I had to get my nephew, who's a very large guy, to break each lug nut loose on all four of my wheels. They were that tight that I couldn't get them loose. So if I was traveling, which I had another 1,000 miles to drive, and one of those tires would have gone flat, I would have been stuck on the road, not able to get my lug nuts off. So they were either rusted on or somebody had put them on with an impact gun and they were all on too tight. So make sure that you can get your lug nuts loose on your car. It wouldn't even be a bad idea to break them all loose one at a time. You don't have to jack the car or anything. For an example, I would come here, take this lug nut loose, retighten it. Since it's a 5-lug wheel, I would go to that one and do that one next. Take it loose, retighten it. Break this one loose, retighten it. Break this one loose, retighten it. That may take 30 minutes out of your day, but it rest assured that if you get a flat somewhere, you'll at least be able to get the lug nuts loose. Next, you want to find a clean spot to park your car for a few hours at, whether it's on the street, in a driveway or something. Drive the car around and then find a clean spot to park the car on, and you want to let the car sit there for 2 hours. So whether it's at home or somewhere else, then you want to move the car and look under it to see if there was any fluid leaks. Because if there's fluid leaks, you want to catch that soon, not later, and get those fixed. Another thing you want to do is find the air box, which is normally a large box like that, and it says something about your air filter being in there. You want to open this box. It normally has clips on it, maybe a couple of screws. Inspect that filter. Make sure that filter is not clogged up and old. And if it is, get it replaced within your first week of ownership. You don't want to be driving a car around that has a filter missing. And if one's real old and clogged up, you want to go ahead and get that taken care of and replace with a new filter. Another thing you want to do is check your battery connections. Make sure they're not full of corrosion and a bunch of stuff on the different ends of your battery, positive and negative terminals. You want to get those cleaned off if they are, and never pour Coca-Cola or any kind of soda on your battery cable connections. That's just not the proper way to clean them and care for them. You want to come inside the car, turn the key on, and make sure all of your warning lights work, especially your brake failure and your check engine light. So I got my check engine light there, a brake failure, I got coolant lights, low fuel lights. You want to make sure all of these work in according to your owner's manual, because you don't want to be driving around thinking that these lights will come on and warn you, and they actually will not, because the bulb is burned out or has been removed. Last but not least, you want to check in your owner's manual and look for the maintenance suggestions, routine maintenance. That's section 8. So you want to go to section 8 and look and see all of the things that should be done to the car. Now, if you can't find any physical records proving that these things were done to the car, you want to go ahead and schedule within the next few weeks or months to have these things taken care of. There is routine maintenance schedule. talks about oil filters, air filters, spark plugs, how often they should be changed, and things like that. If you look in the About section below in this video, you'll see a link to a video called How to Get Another 100,000 Miles Out of Your Car. So you want to go and watch that video, and within the next few months, make sure that you get all these things taken care of, that your car will be able to last you a good long time, as long as you want to own it and not fail you within a few months and have you looking for another vehicle. So after this initial check, you want to recheck all these things the first time you go through a full tank of gas or in about a week, just to make sure that nothing's going out of hand on you real quick, and just to stay on top of the condition of the car as you get to know it. There's another video link below on monthly checks that you should do on your car. So if you have any questions, go ahead and post them here. If you feel that this information was beneficial, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can also subscribe to my channel so that you can get notification of future videos that I post. Visit my channel. I have all types of do-it-yourself videos there. You can leave questions here and I'll try to respond to them as quick as possible. You can also visit my website at robertspinner.com. Thanks again for watching.